get into stuff that's a little more fun, just like as you are in school, you think about what you can do next. Startups are fun, you know. It's actually a really cool thing to do, to go out and create a business with some friends. And I think now is the best time ever in the history of mankind to start a business. I mean, you can fund things on Kickstarter and Indiegogo without giving up any equity. You can have any idea and try it out, throw it out there, and see if people help, you know, come in. And but I think so. When I was here in anthropology, I started talking about corporate culture. I actually took that forward, and I'm a real culture guy. Like when people come in my company, the first thing they do is not the first thing, but after a week or so, whenever we have like 5 new employees, I take them to a breakfast, and it's my culture club. And I just talk to them about what it's like to work at BrainSpace and why it's different than anywhere else on the planet. Because we create this culture that's fun, we have a blast together, and we have a good time together, and people want to be there. So these are some of the things that really buttress our culture, that really kind of make it a great place. So when you walk into a company, you guys have done this before, you walk into a building and sometimes you just feel it, right? When there's a real negative vibe somewhere, you can feel that as soon as you walk in the door. That's culture. That is culture. That is people feeling bad about where they are. And you feel it when you walk in the door. I've had people call me back, like we had a sales guy that interviewed to work at our company. We didn't hire him. But he called me back and said, I got to tell you something. He said, I didn't know what culture was until I walked into BrainSpace. He said, when I walked in there, everyone was happy and people were just, the place was buzzing. He goes, when I came back to where I am today, it was like nothing there. You know, so sometimes it's intangible. Culture is what you feel when you walk in the door. So how do you create a great culture? Well, the other thing is, culture is the only thing in a company that's created by everybody there. So everybody together makes up the culture. It's not something you can force on people. It's something that emerges because you kind of help it emerge, you know, in certain ways. But so culture, I use a word, a Swahili word called Ubuntu, and loosely translated, Ubuntu means I am who I am because of who we are together. So that's the culture we have at BrainSpace. It just means like who you are in the company is given meaning by who we are together. You know, so if you want to come in and do great things, we always tell people, don't start by focusing on yourself, lift up people around you. You know, if you lift up everybody around you, you're going to lift up. You know, and so that's you have these cards. I'll put them out here if you want them. I make these things. I don't know. It's a thing I did. The other thing is I destroyed the idea of failure in our company. So especially if you're a tech company, you can't have the idea of failure there. It doesn't work. You know, so old boring cultures, you walk into some place and they put people on a project and it doesn't work, everybody goes, fail, you failed, right? We don't do that. We look at every project, everything we're doing is an opportunity. And I like to kind of tell people that failure is a man-made concept. So think about it, failure doesn't exist in nature. Where does failure exist in nature? I got challenged on this by an engineer once at Tech Wildcatter as I was doing my talk, and I said this, and he raised his hand. He said, I'll give you an example. I said, okay, show me. He said, herd of elephants. Lion comes up, kills one of the elephants, failed. I said, okay. All that happened was a lion killed an elephant. That's all that happened. My interpretation might be that elephant was a hero. You know, so same thing, all that happened, 2 different interpretations. So all failure is a judgment by people who don't really give a crap about what you're doing. The people that want to tear you down. So people start judging you and saying things are failure, just disassociate with people like that. It's not about failure. It's about, somebody else's negative opinion of something that happened should be a no concern to you. Just don't hang around with people like that. All there is what happened and what you choose to do next. That's all there is. Everything else is a judgment. I always kind of like to tell people machines fail, but people choose to stop. That's the difference. So here's the card for it. So another part of culture, recast failure as iteration. So if failure doesn't exist in your company, what do you do? Well, you recast it as iteration. So this is really just to think about it. How many people are gamers or have gamed? All the guys do. Yeah. You know, you don't die and then you can't play the game anymore, right? You level up and then you die and you learn what you did wrong, and so you iterate and change what you learned, you go back and do it again, right? It's iteration. That's what gaming works, right? But that's the way life works too. You know, it's not about doing something until it fails and stopping. In tech companies especially, it's all about iterating quickly. It's about build, measure, learn, build, measure, learn, build, measure, learn. So it's a vicious cycle, right? And so you try something, you throw it out there, you watch what people do, you learn what's happening, you pull back, take what you've learned, change it, push it back out, watch what they're doing, learn again, pull it back. It's this iteration, iteration, iterate until you get awesome. And that's what our business is like. We don't have failure in our office. All we have is iteration. A lot of people iterating on really cool things. Sometimes we'll choose to stop doing it. We don't like it anymore. Don't think it's going to sell great. We'll choose to stop doing it. We'll do something else. But did you hear me say fail? No. Like, I'm not just saying this is like words. This is really real stuff. I mean, failure is a man-made thing. It doesn't really exist in the world. So there's all the things I just said. There's the card. What's next? So fearless environments. It's really, all this is related, you know. Where there's no fear, you don't have failure, right? If I had projects, I said, this is really important. You can't fail if you do it. Who's going to volunteer for that project, right? Nobody, right? Or if they do, it's going to be, if this fails, I'm going to make it look like you did it, you know? So this idea of having fear in environments is really, really devastating. You can't have fear in environments. You have to create an environment where people are invited to try things, invited to take risks, and there is no fear of failure. You just got to keep trying things. It's not about failure, about iteration, right? And that creates a fearless environment. So when you have that, there's teams of people all committed to lifting each other up, relearning and reinventing. And that creates a really great culture. There we go. I think this is no, there's another one. Okay. Here's structure and culture, right? So there are physical structures. Like if you came into our office, what's really interesting is like there's no cubes. We don't have cubes. You know? The guy, we built out our office, and the guy, he gave us design, had all these cubes, and I was like, we're not really a cube kind of company. Come back with something else. Our company's name is Brainspace. Come back with something else. And he came back with this incredible idea, and we did it. So we have this, our office is really long, and it has this round room on the end of the dome top, and so there's a round wall. We call that a nucleus because we're Brainspace, right? And then the table is a 94-foot long custom-built table that goes like, just zigzags down our office, because that's a dendrite. The nucleus is a dendrite. It's really stupid, but it's great. So you walk in our office, that's really cool. And when I tell people that, they look at me like I'm crazy, like, you build nucleuses and dendrites. Yeah, why not? You know, but people love working there. We put noise cancellation stuff all up and down the office, so like if there's someone 20 feet away and they're talking, all you do is you can see their lips moving. You can't hear them. So we don't need cubes. We just solve that by doing noise cancellation. And so we have this really cool office with a 94-foot table, and we beat Donald Trump by 14 feet. So yeah, thank you very much. The guy who built our table, the longest table he built before us was 80-foot surfboard table. Donald Trump, and ours is 90 feet. So anyway, and so physical structure is important. Organizational structure is also important. Like my office is right in the middle. There's no executive suite, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Everybody walks by my office every day. I actually talked to Garrett about this. So I kind of thought about putting a camera behind me because my wall is all windows in front of me where people walk by, and it's just hilarious what people do when they walk by my office. Like they'll do this. You know, yeah, I need to get it all on video just so I can do this thing at the end. But there's no hierarchy in our office. It's flat. So I think really innovative companies are networked, not hierarchical, right? You create flat architectures where everyone can interact with everybody, not having to go up to the executives to talk to someone and come back down to, you know, that stuff doesn't work. And then work life, you know, we try to make Brainspace a really fun place to go. Like people want to be there. You know, it's not about, oh crap, I gotta wake up and go to work. You know, we actually have a lot of fun together. You know, we do all sorts of activities together. When we got bought, it's kind of funny. So I made an announcement to the company here. We got in the room and I said, hey, we're acquired. And you think everybody would go, yay, and they were like, oh no. That was the I didn't expect it, but your reaction was, oh crap, I really like working here. Is that going to change? You know, that was the reaction. You know, and I kind of told them, no, nothing's going to change. You know, they want us to be us. So that's all the good news. But it's you know, we build a place. I don't think you have this work-life balance. I think that's also just kind of a myth. You know, all there is what you do, what you create, what you're committed to. So we invite families to all our parties, and matter of fact, we have potlucks for people. We buy it, but they cook stuff and bring potlucks in. Our Christmas party, the great Christmas party with an Elvis, three-time world champion Elvis. But we just have fun, so it's not like this big black divide between work and home, That's on the card. All right, so these are this the stuff where I kind of lose engineers. Anybody engineer here? Nobody? Okay, good. I love engineers. My company's all engineers, but engineers are really methodical thinkers, right? So some of this stuff is just a little out there. But it's just kind of talking about, if you're going to be an entrepreneur or work in an entrepreneurial company, the battle you want to win is the one between your ears. It's not out there. You got to win the one between your ears first. Then you can go take on battles elsewhere. But, so I have these little things I kind of talk about. So one of them is this saying that you're always winning the game you're playing. So this is one you got to think about. It's one of these things, maybe if you remember anything from tonight, you'll think of this and go, oh yeah, that makes sense now. But this is like the ultimate in responsibility. Like, if you look around your life, or look around your job, or look around your school, what you're doing in school, and you don't like what's around you, then you got to change the game. The realization is that everything around you is a result of the game you're playing. So if you don't like the results that are happening around you, you got to change your game. So this puts you in a really powerful place because you're ultimately responsible for everything around you. I take it really far sometimes. It's like crazy far where it's probably not, it gets into this point of fantasy, right? Where I say that my entire company, I take on that everyone's having a great time and that everyone's being productive, everyone's progressive. It's really impossible for one person to do, but I take it on, and I want people to be happy with what they're doing. And so the game I play is that everybody that's here loves to be here. That's the game I'm playing. If somebody doesn't, we'll sit down, we'll talk, and sometimes they shouldn't be there. And I've had a guy that wanted to leave my company. I was like, oh, sounds like you should. He was like, yeah, I think I should. Ended up leaving the company. I helped him fund his business. I got him $250,000 to start a business to leave my company. But it was the right thing to do. He was ready to go do something else. I didn't hold him back. So anyway, you're always winning the game you're playing. If you don't like what's happening in your life or in business or in school, look at the game you're playing, dissect it, see what's causing that to happen, and change the game. So, game number 2, self-improvement is crap. I am not a rah-rah person. I don't like the stuff where people kind of say, oh, think positive thoughts and your life will be positive. I think that's that's a load of crap. I think if you want to improve who you are and make yourself better, improve everything around you. Lift up people that are around you. Lift up people around you, your life will get better. And so I think this idea of self-improvement, you take the word self-improvement, it's really just that in and of itself sounds asinine. Self-improvement. Disregarding everything around you. It's almost a selfish thing. So I think the whole idea of self-improvement is crap. The real question is, who are you for other people? Ask yourself that question all the time. Who are you for other people? Call for greatness. I had a really kind of one of those wild experiences. You guys aren't there yet, but right after college, it was actually not long after UNT. I got a job, I was doing the thing where I get on my job, I come home and eat dinner, and I watch TV, and I go to bed, and I wake up, I go to my job. There's like this cycle, right? And for me, it drove me insane. I just said, this is not what life's about. There's got to be more to life. So I went on this, I call it my journey, where I quit my job. And I just drove around Texas, and I Googling stuff and finding out, like, here's guys doing a class on whatever. And I went around to Austin, I took all these different classes and stuff. And I ended up just kind of finding out that what I went out looking for, I found out it's just I had everything I needed. There's nothing to look for. It's just all to me. That's what I came back with. You got to look for stuff like it's somewhere else, but it's not somewhere else. It's me. And so I got that. And so I decided to create my life around. I'm going to create myself as a possibility. So who I am is a possibility of greatness in every person I meet. That's what I did. I made it up. And I live it there every day. So when I talk to people, I try to kind of not envision them for who they are today. I try to envision them for like wow, what's possible for this person, you know, or what greatness lies beneath this person, you know. So I ask a lot of questions. When people come to my office, I ask lots of questions, you know, and talk about things. And who can I be as a stand for your greatness? Who can I be to help you get what you want? I think it lies dormant in people. I think greatness is inside of everybody, but it needs to be called out. Sometimes it's just you calling it out. Let's see. I love that. I think we're getting near the end here. Basically, scarcity and abundance. You know, so I think you're either playing one game or the other. So scarcity is when you don't have very many choices, right? In our business, my first business, we came to a point where we were out of money. I wasn't going to make the next payroll, you know. And I had 12 people and 12 families, and I always took it on myself to never let anybody go because of that. And so we, you know, bigger stories were just made miracles happen. We never missed a payroll, you know. But it was not an easy thing. You know? And one time, I actually, after my first company sold, I actually paid payroll myself 2 times. You know, the company wasn't doing great. But it just, you know, it's this idea that. Sometimes you're in this scarcity where you only have a few choices. And if you're ever in a place of scarcity, focus on a couple things that work and do just those things. But here's the thing, scarcity is a trap. People get stuck in it, right? You get stuck in this scarcity thing and then you never get out of it. You have to recognize that, hey, there's bigger things out there in life, there's bigger things out there for your business, bigger things out there for you as a student. And you gotta ask the world for those things. Go out there and ask for it. You know, so you get in this abundance mode. And to me, abundance is, scarcity is about survival, right? But abundance is kind of a frame of mind. It's like, I'm gonna create something. That's who I am. I'm gonna create something today. And me and my co-founder, we've had times in our business where like things weren't working that great, or we didn't have enough business coming in, we looked at each other and we went, we gotta create abundance. Yeah. All right, okay. We start calling people and starting conversations, and you know, after you talk to 50 or 100 people, something happens. You know, but we can cause that. So. But you're always in one or the other. You're always in scarcity or abundance, so don't get stuck in scarcity. Let's see. I think that's kind of it. So that's kind of my gist. It's kind of a abbreviated thing that I wasn't sure what you guys really wanted to talk about, so maybe we can kind of open it up for questions or something.